welcome to the LEC post-game lobby where I'm joined by Jamada and Nisqy. Congrats, bravo.
Thank you very much.
Thanks for joining us. Mac was just talking about you and your improvements and how there's a lot of credit due to you and your improvements from last year to this year. I know this is something that you mentioned when we had the first interview at the beginning of the year. So how proud are you of your achievements and how well you've been doing so far in Nisqy?
I mean, I'm proud of myself, but I don't think I need to stop. Like, the job is not done yet at all. For me, being top 4 is like a normal achievement. That's where I saw us at the beginning of the split, and that's where we are right now. And I think next week is where I really have to show that in best of 5s, when it really matters, then I will pop off. And yeah, I'm just looking forward to that.
Yeah, I think you and the Mad Lions have a revenge to take on best of 5s when you think about last year. But Jamada, we entered today thinking that Vitality would be favored and Mad Lions would be favored as well. At least one team that was favored made it out, and in a clean way, if we think of the Mad Lions.
For the most part, I feel like you guys, you kind of just did a strong stuff. I think the way that you were probably expecting in your first series, I kind of wanted to pick on what you said in terms of like, you're a very humble answer in terms of still kind of getting better. Top 4 is kind of the floor, what we expect. I feel like you as a player have been given a lot more freedom in what you've been playing this year compared to last year. Do you feel like that has also kind of helped your team as a whole kind of play more flexibly in terms of how they want to sort of approach a lot of different teams?
Yeah, I mean, I think last year I still had the freedom to kind of play what I wanted. But I think the practice was not, at least my practice environment, I was not the best at it, and I wasn't showing how good I was on the champions that I really wanted to play. And that's also why we didn't play like the Azirs, the Victors, and like the control mages on stage, because it just wasn't working in scrims. And I feel like this year I tried really hard to make it work in scrims, and that's also why I'm allowed to play it on stage. So I think that's the big difference, yeah.
What changed in the approach, though? Because you've been playing for years, and I mean, it's easy to get stuck into bad habits, per se, or habits of playing that you have. How did you refine the approach, and maybe someone else helped you do that?
I mean, last year Pad helped me a lot, first of all, and it was kind of going pretty well towards the end, but I think I struggled a lot in the beginning of the split to play the control mages and all that. And I think this year, I mean, for me, I had like a click in my head, kind of, or in my state, because last year I could have been somewhere else. Like off season was not very good, and like people thought I was not like that good. So I was like, I mean, if people don't think I'm this good, then that means I'm doing something wrong. And then this year I just decided that I'm just kind of going all in, and I just try 100% every single day, and that I just rely on myself and not kind of look around me what's going on, and I just do my best. And I think for now it's been going well, and yeah, I hope it continues.
No regrets, going all in, which is interesting given the beginning of the last game that I want to look at right now, Nisqy, and I want you to talk us through communication here, because it was beautiful, don't you think, guys?
I mean, okay, here, so we thought they could be topside, so we wanted to fight them 5v5, and then I think Shazy said, go in that bush, and then I was like, okay, we're going, and then we saw Gwen, and I started E. I was like, I have a bubble, and then I hit it, and then we just went there, and then I think 4 people got bubbled by Nami, but we're like, if we just go forward, we win. So yeah, we just took the all-in fight.
What spurred the idea to go top? Was it the kind of volatile matchup between Gwen and Fiora? You felt like they would try and take bush control in the level 1?
I mean, we thought they would try something. They didn't. They were in the another bush. So we're a bit surprised, but yeah, at the end, it worked out.
It's interesting because backstage we were having a discussion about EU Fiora and EU Fiora player, and then Chasey hits us with this one. How has it been working with him? Because I know that he's very unique in terms of Korean imports. So tell me a bit more about Chasey.
I mean, Chasey is a very nice person, like very respectful. I think he's kind of like most imports where like he's shy, doesn't really talk much in the beginning, but then once he gets to know everyone and he's kind of feeling like home, then he just is himself. And right now, he even like flames me, for example, if I play the classic, basically. Whereas before, he wouldn't do that, for example. So yeah, I think he found his ground, and I think he's been doing really good, especially on his pocket picks, which Fiora is one of them. So yeah, I'm glad that I have a top that can play kind of everything that's needed, yeah.
Yeah, very versatile, and that's what I was saying on the desk, Jamada. The fact that we've been used to talking about the bot lanes from the Mad Lions, mid lane as well, Yoya, but then there's the unsung hero in a way in the likes of Chasey. That's been the silent force for the lineup, it seems, but that shouldn't be underestimated.
No, absolutely not. And I know from first-hand experience, you guys love your draw from LPL play as well. And I feel like you guys sometimes probably sort of siphon that into Chasey in a way, let him play some of these more aggressive picks. And yeah, I think for you guys, having that flexibility for Chasey, like you said, very EU-West, right? Gets here a bit shy, but then he's immediately flaming everyone and feeling quite comfortable to play. Do you feel like that comfortability for him has also kind of opened him up to also be played for as well?
Yeah, I mean, I think he feels really, how do I say, like trusted.
Yeah,
when he picks like the Fioras or like whatever, if he wants to play Yon or something, he can do it. We'll always trust him on it. And I think that's very important in a team environment where if someone wants to play a champion, we should just trust him on it. And as of for now, it's what's been happening and it's been going really good, yeah.
Let's focus a bit more on the bracket as a whole and the day that we had today, as SK taking down Vitality, Jamada, was for me the big surprise of today. And when you think about it, it's a bit sad in the sense that Vitality missed out on playoffs last year. They missed out on playoffs this year again. But why are you laughing?
No, because for me, it's just funny that like everyone thought Vit would win today.
Of course.
But like for me, I didn't see like a scenario where they would win, because for me, I really think SK is playing really clean.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I think Vit looked very shaky last week. And SK just looks clean, you know? I mean, they look kind of shaky versus Heretics, I'd say, in the early games. But I think today, they were playing really good. Even when they were behind game one, they knew how to kind of come back. And I feel like Vit was just kind of lost all over the map.
I agree on this, and I think that, Jamada, for me, Nisqy has a point in the sense that Vitality collapsed gradually over the past two best-of-3 series, and today was the perfect example of this.
Yeah, and it's kind of interesting to see this almost undevelopment, the reversal for Vitality. Yeah, it's a very strange crescendo. I'm not particularly sure what spurred it. Is there anything in your head that's really kind of looked off in Vitality's play generally? Like, do you feel like it's Bo not necessarily being as aggressive and synced up with the rest of the team like it was in the early weeks?
I mean, I think Bo for sure, I think was their strong points, and Photon in the early weeks. I think Perks had some pop-off games, for example, against us during the season, and I think their bowling was done better than what they're showing now. But I also think game one they were very ahead and they could have closed the game, and then game two I think their draft was just unplayable. So I don't know what happened there, but yeah, I mean, they tried something, didn't work, and sucks for them, I guess.
Yeah, sucks for them. I mean, we'll see them in spring anyway, and we know that it's the type of lineup that's going to take it some time maybe to build in terms of communication and players being aligned with the language barrier that they can have. We will see them back in spring, but let's focus on the rest of winter right now, as you will play against SK next week on Friday, actually. So you were telling me that they were a much better team than what people usually think. So preview of this matchup and how you expect it to go.
I mean, I think SK plays good, but I don't feel like they have that pop-off moment in their players yet, at least. I think in best of fives it's very important that you're clutch and that you don't crumble under pressure. They have a lot of rookies, and I think for our team we have a lot of veterans, so I think if we play good League of Legends, we should beat them. I don't see a reason why we would lose to them all over the board. Only thing I would think of is maybe their bot. I think Exakigdos have been doing really good, and yeah, that's probably the lane we should be careful of,
Jamada, experienced players versus fearless, less experienced players.
Yeah,
what would you say?
I suppose so, right? And even though SK in that less experienced house have just taken down the very experienced players and people like Perks, I feel like you've kind of rounded out quite well. I feel like, yeah, SK, sure, they've done the dance now with Vitality. It's still going to be an uphill battle for them into Mad Lions. And I was going to actually ask, hey, what do you feel like you need to keep like wraps on with SK? But you said the bottom lane. Do you feel like it's just the bottom lane, or do you still feel like they can actually play through multiple lanes?
I mean, I think Certus and Marcoon have been doing good as well as I do. I think Irrelevant on his champs looks really good. But I still think that today, even though they played good, I think in game one, they struggled a lot. I think Vit just threw the game, and maybe if Vit won that game, they would have been out of playoffs. But they came back in game two and kind of stumped them. So I don't know where to place them. I mean, I know they do in practice, they're usually good. So
Yeah.
we'll see what happens. But on stage, I believe we'll just be better than them, yeah.
Yeah, and there's a lot of things that can happen between when you have 1 week of practice. And for you guys at home, do not forget that the next week starts earlier for playoffs. SK Mad Lions will be played on Friday, but that's a story for another week. Before we go, I want to talk about the match that we have tomorrow. G2, you lost against them last week, so maybe there's stuff to say about this rematch of the finals once again against Koi. Who do you expect is going to have the upper hand here?
I think I feel like G2 is gonna win. I mean, I think they're pretty good. I mean, I think into us they played really good, and yeah, I think G2 will take it. But I believe that it will be very close. I don't think it's gonna be a stomp. I think Koi have been looking very good as well. But I think G2 will just throw off with some like random picks or whatnot, and they will do their thing and win.
Malrang versus Yike is the matchup that I have my eyes on here.
That is 100% where I'm looking as well. I feel like, to me, it's going to be a lot on G2 to just basically man-mark Malrang and not let him play the crazy level 3 gank into level 3 gank into level 3 gank and just never farm for the first 5 minutes. And I feel like as well, the other thing has to be said, bottom side,
Dead
right?
bottom,
Yeah, Hans and Mickey have been having an absolutely insane split so far. So I feel like Koi definitely have a lot to look out to sort of make sure they're not letting themselves get run over in, but they've been a lot more proactive there, I think, in the group stage in comparison to their regular season. So I think if they keep that up and they try and throw G2 off with that consistent proactivity, they should be okay.
Yeah, I mean, I do think that Koi ball lane is also really, really good. Like, I think they stomped Vitality ball lane to the ground. Like, I've never seen that before. And I think it will be really fun to see how junglers would play around that ball lane, because Yike usually likes to invade and play for his camps and all that. But I think into Koi, if he doesn't go bot, and Malrang will just ignore his camps and go bot. So I think he'll have to switch how he plays and adapt to the situation and see how he does against Malrang,
And this will make for a banger first playoff series as a best of 5, because that's what the last match of group stage we had today as Mad Lions take the win. And that's all for us here now. Tomorrow we'll kick off the LEC Winter Split playoffs with G2 versus Koi, as we said. Upper brackets match for this one. I'm really hyped about this. We're gonna take the PGL selfie now before we go. And before I forget, do you want to take it or should I? I don't want to let Nisqy do it. Okay, I'll
it
do
will be
it
a
then.
disaster.
Yeah.
It will be okay.
All right. Thank you. Merci, Nisqy. Thank you, Jamada. And thank you all of you guys at home. Have a good night, and we'll see you tomorrow for the beginning of playoffs. Bye-bye.
Esports.
Too late to apologize. Hey guys, stop saying this, man. It was f***ing cringe. Okay? It's too late. It was so good. Honestly, just hype yourself up. Shut the f*** up, bro.
But look at the bot side. You're getting completely pushed away. We're going in as Kaiser.
Kaiser! Exit kick is trying to survive, but Bo finds the 4th of the game. Flashes. Photos looking for the parlay. The long-range engage from Markoon.
Can you do something stupid for the magic? Bro, I just spilled f***ing Red Bull on my pants. Let's go! Really? He did something.
Needs to dodge the Skittles. Will be forced to flash this time round, but with the E from Perks, there's not enough damage. The Red Grip should just about finish it. No! What? There's not enough damage! There's not enough damage! He survives! He survives!
Yo, Tristana and Cassandra, no flash.
Look. Yeah, look. Give me.
No flash.
Give me. Nice.
Look. Tristana. Alright, they're
guys. Nice.
A bit. Guys, it's not one yet.
Yeah, focus. I got my sacks. Good job, guys.
SK Gaming have taken down Vitality and made it to playoffs.
Chasey, leave the custom game or back to Korea?
Back to Korea.
Now they've got more than enough damage to just pop him. Now a hook. The follow-up. That route is so long. There's no more clans. It's easy. Mad Lions.
You guys win, you win. Nami.
I'm going now.
Good job, guys.
Gacha.
Nice.
No flash. It's a sushi for dinner.
The 113 is so low. Dayor, sleepy. Who's going to body block? No one can afford to. Dayor taken out. He had to build full damage for any hope in the fight. It means that he's easy picking Kame. Now doing what he can to try and win this one, but it's Elyoyo right into the 80 carry. Body block coming in from 113 to mitigate what they can, but Carzzy does not go down. Carzzy finding a double eyes on the prize. They take the Nexus, they take the game, they take the series. They will move up to top 4 in the LEC.
Just like that, one team fight around mid.
Mad Lions looking clean.